all the participants. Good afternoon to our Vice President, Dr. Nawamani, to our ESCO members, if anyone is here, I think no one is here, our council members, all the respective participants, our distinguished guest speaker today, Dr. Kavita Murthy, Chief Strategic Officer of Interlice Tech Services, Sdn Bhd, and also our respective participants who are here today. Welcome to Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries next Zoom program on cybersecurity for business and combating the rising threats during this pandemic. Well, this program is an additional program that we are consistently actually doing to support and also to add value, informative values to all the MSMEs that has been sustaining during this pandemic period. And it is one of the most important topic that we have selected today, simply because, as you all are well aware, the fourth industry revolution is being fueled by digital transformation. And among the 9 pillars of IR 4.0, cybersecurity is an essential pillar. Without further ado, before we start the program with our distinguished speaker, let's have an opening welcoming address by our Vice President, Dr. Nawamani, and thereafter we shall take you on to the program. Over to you, Dr. Nawa.
Thank you, Nivas. A very good afternoon to our EXCO members, especially our Secretary General, Mr. Nivas Raghavan. I think the Deputy and President are not around. Other EXCO members, and our distinguished speaker, Dr. Kavita Murthy, Chief Strategy Officer of Interlice Tech Services, Sdn Bhd, Management Council members, our very distinguished guest members, and non-members of KLCK. It is my pleasure to officiate today's town hall session. We at KLCK are continuously doing many town hall sessions over Zoom on various topics. We have done on KWSP and U, hidden marketing platforms in digital world, market development grant subsidy, the challenges faced by the SMEs and also micro SMEs, an inspirational talk, Pemulih Agro Bank initiatives, disruption and evolution of event industry, Pemerkasa loan applications through BSN, SIDAC, Selangor SME Digitalization Matching Grants Forum, improve your Microsoft Excel skills, developing your new product brand, creating trademark, rental relief discussions, and many more. At KLCK, we are not just resting, but ensuring all our members and members to be well prepared with the right knowledge in business acumen. We have many more coming up too. Do stay tuned. A little bit about KLCK. For those of you who are first time here in our Zoom platform, KLCK is a 93-year-old trade and industry chamber, which is recognized as a critical government, NGO, business-centric liaison. We promote local and international trade and industry. We help to seek the business and trade requirements of SMEs, micro businesses, and startups. We are a highly proactive as a business-focused event organizer. We promote business networking sessions. We organize and facilitate business matching sessions and international business and trade delegations. We promote inter-chamber collaborations and as well as strategic alliances. We conduct motivation series and sharing sessions by captain of industries. Like today, we have the cybersecurity captain, right? Today, our guest speaker will be sharing on cybersecurity for business and combating the rising threats during this pandemic. Cybersecurity is very vital because it protects all categories of data from theft and damage. Those days we were so concerned about, theft alone. But today we have to be very, very careful of cyber security because you can lose almost everything overnight through your, smartphone or your computer. People can just hack and take all those things. So this is why cyber security is important. And this includes sensitive data, personal information, intellectual property, governmental and industry information system. All the more when we are working from home, we tend to use the shared data or Wi-Fi, and even at times we may borrow the laptops from others and we don't know how these can be hacked. So we need to protect networks and data from unauthorized access. We need to learn what is cyber security in the first place. And we need to improve our company credentials with the correct security controls in place. And these are just to name a few. I really hope all of you will take notes, and one of the most important thing is ask your questions freely if you have any doubts, and our well-versed moderator, who is also the chairperson of the Industry 4.0 in KLCK, will ensure all your questions are answered by our speaker. We at KLCK are encouraging, assisting, and enabling you to catch up using all the initiatives by the government, and we are here to continue to serve the members. Over to you, Nivas. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nawamani, our Vice President, for the wonderful and informative brief overview about KLCK as well as an overview of IR 4.0. Well, I would actually reckon her as the opening speaker for the program today. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce you to the speaker, let me give you a brief overview about what is IR 4.0. IR 4.0 has 9 main pillars. Among the 9 pillars are Internet of Things or IoT, augmented reality, simulation, additive or smart manufacturing, system integration, cloud computing, autonomous systems or robotics, as well as big data analytics and cyber security. Cyber security is an essential key pillar among all the pillars because this is a supporting pillar for all the pillars in IR 4.0. So this cyber security should be embedded in your business so that you will ensure that your data protection, your hardware protection, your infrastructure protection is always sacred. So our speaker today, Dr. Kavita Murthy, the Chief Strategy Officer of Intellize Tech Services in Berhad, is a well-known and she has a lot of accolades to her portfolio. She is the CyberSafe Ambassador, Cybersecurity Malaysia of Cybersecurity Malaysia, as well as CyberSafe Professional Malaysia, and also the top 10 women in security in Malaysia. This is something that is new that we have came across, and I was talking to her yesterday and I told her that we have not engaged with her prior to this, but based on her testimony, I believe that she is going to be a very good associate and asset to us to spearhead on cybersecurity in IR 4.0 programs when we conduct it later. So this is one stepping stone that we have actually taken to organize this program today and to ensure that all MSMEs actually add value to your company by incorporating the IR 4.0 key pillar, which is the cyber security. Without further ado, let me invite Dr. Kavita Murthy to take the floor and address you on the important topic today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please post on the chat box. Towards the end of the program, we will actually go through it accordingly for the benefit of all the participants who are here towards the end of the program. So let's start the program, and over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Nivas, thank you very much. You're the chairperson. Can you hear me, Nivas?
Doctor, I am not able to view your camera.
Correct. I am not also able to do anything with my camera from here. I guess it has been controlled by the admin. Could you please do something about it? Yes, start my video.
It was unintentional, doctor. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still not able to.
I think it is something that is controlled by your side, I think.
Nothing. In fact, when I tried to activate it to start video, but it's just having an exclamation mark saying that it's failed. I never had problem with my video.
It was working earlier, only now.
Yeah, it's only now. Right. Would you mind if I just quickly exit myself
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I'm going to log in right away after that. Yep.
Yeah, please do that.
So while we are waiting for our distinguished speaker to come in, we have in the chat box, we have actually given some information here. As welcomed earlier by our Vice President, Dr. Nawa, KLCK is a chamber that has been organizing various programs during this COVID period over the Zoom, and we had a lot of information that we have actually shared, disseminated to all the members, and also non-members, and also non-Indian members. We have a lot of participants from the non-Indian segment, and I believe we have taken this program live and also recorded and posted in our Facebook page, and there are a lot of views and good response from there. So let's get all the MSME to actually benefit from all these programs. Try to share as much as you can to all the circle of network to participate in our subsequent programs. So Dr. Kavita, are you there?
Yes, I'm back. Can you see me now?
Yes, very well. So over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Finally.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The KLCK organizer, especially the VP, Dr. Navar. Very nice to meet you after such a long break, I guess. And to Mr. Nivas as well. Thank you so much for inviting me for this knowledge sharing session today. I'm really very honored and also excited to see what I have to share with all of you. And I really hope that some of those information that I'm going to share with you, you are able to take it as a tips. And if you have any questions along the way, please do ask me. If I'm not able to answer the question right away, I will definitely take up your question. I'm going to come back to you with an answer later. I'm going to share my contact details as well. So once again, thank you very much, KLCK and the admin. I'm going to share my slide now. Satya, are you able to see the slide?
Yes, Doctor. Yes, we're able to see the slides.
Right. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Good. Okay. So Mr. Nivas and Dr. Nawa actually did a very beautiful introduction, and that has actually taken a bit of my points, by the way. So I'm going to straight go to sharing of this matter related to cybersecurity in business and what is this combating the rising threats during pandemic especially. But here Nivas did mention about IR 4.0, and now to interrelate these two things, pandemic is at one point, and now we are also going through the digitalization, and we are on the digital transformation, some of you. And that's where the IR 4.0 is coming in. And at the same time, while going through the digital transformation, we are being impacted with the pandemic. Great, isn't it? Right. So we all are having great time now for the past 2 years. Thanks to Mr. Nivas again for sharing my profile. I think that has been good enough for me to tell, except for one thing which Nivas told me, Doc, you had a short and brown hair in a picture, and now you're having long black hair. So I want to show my people who is the actual speaker is. So yes, I am the one there, but unfortunately it was taken. So this triad, we call it a triad, cybersecurity triad, or the information security triad, which is the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and also availability. We want to make sure that those information that I want at that point of a time, it comes with an integrity, maintaining and assuring the accuracy and the consistency of the data over the life cycle. If you're an IT company, you will definitely understand this lingo because it says that the life cycle of the data. So from an application being developed, there is a life cycle of application development, right? There is a life cycle of everything. So the same thing applicable here for the consistency of the data. And this is how the ISO 27001 determine the property of the accuracy and also the completeness of the information, as well as the availability for any critical information at any point of a time which is supposed to serve a purpose. It needs to be made available with integrity, and the confidentiality need to be assured as well. Now, let me just share with you. So we already see, wow, this information is very important in the information age, great challenges we're facing. But what kind of threats do we face when it comes to handling this information? Malware. What is malware? It is a software that actually performs a malicious task, which I can sign it to your device through a network and whatever to corrupt your data and also to take over your system. All kind of malware. There's Trojan. There's so many of them, right? And then we've got phishing. It is not about you going to the pawn and do your phishing, but this phishing happens on the system over the internet. Well, I'll give you a very good example. Just because all of us know that phishing is becoming more and more popular in the period of pandemic is because more and more of you actually receive an email or rather a call saying that, hey, I'm calling from the bank, I have got a transaction. I'm going to give you this very good example that happens to me this morning. Look, I was actually driving from Kuala Lumpur heading to Port Tanjung Pelepas today, and I'm in customs office, actually, you can see. So here, this is supposed to be very important task, and I received a call from HSBC where my mortgage account is, and I was told that I made a transaction of 40,000. Look, to be honest, if I receive the 40,000 to my account, I'll be very happy to receive it, and I don't care who transfer it. But it was saying that I had a transaction done for 40,000, meaning to say I'm paying out to someone. So they asked me, if you agree on the transaction, if you did the transaction, please press the hash button. If you would like to clarify and you did not do the transaction, please press 0 to speak to our customer service. So I pressed 0. And when I pressed 0, it actually went to the customer service. Well, it is a customer service. And they said, good afternoon, HSBC customer service. How can I help you? And they say, well, I don't mind. I know this event is recorded and I don't mind of saying the bank name. It is nothing to do with the bank, but it is how the predator or the perpetrator is making use of those banks' name, right, to make you a victim. And they asked me simply, oh, you're calling to verify your transaction, isn't it? I say, which branch is this? This is, well, they said, yeah, they did say the KL branch, the HQ branch. And which department you're from? I asked him, and he said it's from the customer service. Oh, ma'am, you actually called me to do a verification of the transaction that you're doing. So before that, I would like to verify your IC number, please. See how smart, how sweet can they be to just con you on the phone, right? This is how social engineering happens. I'm going to share with you about social engineering again. So this phishing attack usually comes in this kind of manner, and otherwise they will actually send you an email link to say, click on the link, we are updating your bank data. And when you receive, when you click on the link, the link will actually open into a page, look exactly like the bank, and then you start filling up, because you think that, well, this is nothing very serious. So I guess that bank is asking me to update the data. So yeah, let me just do it, So you got to be careful on that. That's another threat. And the other one threat that I would like to share with you is the man in the middle. Well, you have heard it. Michael Jackson's song says man in the mirror, but this is man in the middle. Well, very interesting. When you are connected on your wireless, and if you know your wireless is not secure, please do not do any transaction, because there is a man from the A lokasi ke B lokasi, someone in between of their personnel watching, listening, and going to tap you there. So be careful. That is the man in the middle of the attack, the MITM. Well, as I told about the Trojan earlier, one of the malware that enters into a targeted system, and you look into certain things and you start modifying it, or it can do a lot of things inside. Now, ransomware was, again, for the past couple of years, I guess it's about 6 to 7 years now, becoming more and more famous. And this an attack that actually involved encrypting your data. They target your system, they lock the system, they ask you money, and they will tell, once you transfer the money, then only I will unlock your system. Look, it's not going to be that easy, right? Once they lock your system, ask your money, when they pay the money, it doesn't mean that they're going to release back the whole data. They probably send you a corrupted data or deleted data. You wouldn't know, or you may not be able to retrieve. And that's the reason the disaster recovery or the IT disaster recovery comes into place, where your backup, your data storage is very much important. Then you have the denial of service attack, where an attacker actually, use a device and use them to invoke a function of a targeted system. Especially it happens for the website, which it cause crashing or overload of demand. And you also have data breaches. Data breaches, thousands of data breaches is happening in Malaysia. And this is where the theft of our data of a malicious actor is someone, a perpetrator, actually sit there and, they will do anything to bring your data out. They are the digital theft, right? And motives of the data breaches, including crime, identity theft, a desire to embarrass any institution. I've got all the example. Here you go. University Malaya. Personal data of employees were leaked online. Malindo Air, massive data breach. Post Malaysia, system was down. It probably a ransomware attack. Astro suffers another data breach. Look, it's happening. So it's just that we have to realize that the security becoming more and more important. It is more and more relevant in our living life today, and it is more and more fun. You can't just live without it. I gave a very simple example to Nivas yesterday while I was talking to him. I said, let's talk a little bit about this IR 4.0. When you talk about IoT, you talk about robotic, you talk about machine learning, you talk about augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and anything. Now, if you want to be, in all that 9 pillars, and that one pillar actually cybersecurity, but that cybersecurity pillar cut across of all the pillars of IR 4.0. Right? And even if you were to look into your information technology system in your company, if you're looking into an application development, now your application need to develop securely. How do you do that? You need to look into secure scripting, secure coding and stuff like that. Your infrastructure, you need to look into your data leakage and data protection, and there's a lot of stuff like that. Now, it is similar to when you're building your house. When you build your house, you have so many doors, you have so many windows, and you also probably have some beautiful roof. Nowadays, the roof, with the click of a button, it just opens like that, and getting a sun coming direct. So with all this beautiful design interiors in your house, it actually opens lots of security vulnerabilities in your house. So what do? You need to make sure you have protection. You need to make sure there is safety. You need to make sure there's security. For example, if you're leaving that house, you want to make sure your back door is locked. Your back door, again, you have grill. Then you have your window. Then you have your front door grill. Front door, you have your windows, and you have your alarm. You have your CCTV, and not to forget, please activate your dog, right? You've got so many multiple level of security in the house. It's the same thing here. Whatever you do today with the presence of technology, with an advancement of technology, you need security, right? And there are so many kind of threats. I shared with you only some of it. I did not talk about the social media security, and which is flooded with all kind of vulnerabilities that people are becoming a victim, especially this pandemic period. Now look at MITI. MITI website crashed as over 100,000 application they reopened. This was last year. So, and here you go. I've got more and more to share. I'm just going to quickly move on, and later I'm going to, have a dialogue session with all of you. So, and that if you have questions, then we can talk about it. Now, look at scam and spam. Spam has been growing, right? I'm giving a comparison for year 2020 and also year 2021 up to June, right? And if you look at fraud, we already have about more than 800 plus fraud reported, and malicious codes and content related vulnerabilities reports, cyber harassment, right? You probably heard about cyber harassment. Hey, I'm using social media. I see a lot of my social media friends, sometimes they do report, I'm doing my video, but then there's a lot of harassment going on below, and people trolls you. And that always happens for certain professions, like doing yoga lessons, or teachers, online teachers or trainers. freelancers and doing all those small businesses. These are the target people nowadays when it comes to cyber harassment, right? And when you talk about trolling and all that, it's totally a different thing. There is also political interest in there, and there is also personal interest in there. Right, so you got to be very careful. You need to judge your the act of your incident and which category does it come from. Now, if you become a victim of it, what you need to do? Take that question. I'm going to talk about it later to you. Then you also have denial of service, which I've actually explained earlier, and intrusion attempts and all that. Right? Okay, that is the landscape, right? Threat, cybersecurity threat as a whole that you see, and that is what I reported was in Malaysia since last year, right up to June this year. That is exactly the number says. I'm going to share with you the corporate threat landscape. These are the three things when it comes to corporate threat landscape: espionage, extortion, and also theft. Theft, I talk about the identity theft, right, where the employee information is being stolen, or some of those information of your own personal information is also stolen for the benefit of the perpetrator. What is extortion? When they hold your information for ransom, right? For some of the small businesses, if you look at scams in Malaysia, over the rise of 8,000 recorded up to year 2019, right? That is so much, so many cases, because they hold your information, they ask for a ransom. Right? And this is not only happening to the medium businesses, to the large business now, and also to those individual, right? Very small business owner was crying over the information that was held by this person, and that is a proposal that this person actually submitted, right? They do all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff. Right? How do you want to do? How do you want to stop that? There must be a way. So cybersecurity is something that you don't only look at from the technical perspective. Cybersecurity covers the information security, and that is where I'm actually sharing with you about this espionage or extortion or theft, right? That's what is happening, espionage. Very famous, all right? If you want to get your competitor information, you don't have to work very hard, right? You just have to hire a personnel, and probably an ex-military. That person can do a great job in spying over and get all those information. Right, and that was one of the case study. Well, this is for KLCT team member. I will be sharing my slide later. You can share to the participants here. How is it being done? Let's talk about espionage. There are so many techniques that have been happening. Those days, kalau nak tahu matahari during the World War time, right? This woman is very famous. But today, with just a click away, I can get your information, right? And it is through the social media platform where the identity theft using a wide variety of social engineering. Do you know what is social engineering? It's just with a phone call. Well, probably, I've not seen Satya. I've heard Satya's name here. Satya is an admin handling all those registration and perhaps the technical setup today. But what I can do from Satya, I'll just call Satya, since Satya knows that I'm one of the speaker, and I'm going to talk to Satya, be nice to him and be good friend to him and share WhatsApp numbers and share informations, and I'm going to take care of him for the next 1 week. The second week, I target Satya with certain question. Since Satya knows me that much, and Satya actually trusts me, and he will start sharing those information, right? With just simple question that I ask, from A to B to the Z, he probably can reveal all that information. Now that I mentioned Satya going to be very careful with me again from now onwards, right? So that is social engineering. These perpetrators are well trained. Now, social engineering can also be used as a professionals, right? But at the same time, it is also being used for other activities which are illegal activities, like especially to get information. So espionage is being done through that manner. And there are more and more cases happening in this point of time with social engineering. If you receive a call and you don't know this person, you got to be careful, even if you know that person, right? And probably someone else is imitating that person's personality and talking to you. So you got to be very careful with that. So what does it matter? Yeah, I talk about information. I talk about threats. I talk about espionage, extortion. Again, it's about stealing identity and all that. All that is about your business. Today, we are talking about cybersecurity for business. Business means is your information. Business means is your data. That equivalent to or an equation to dollar and cents. So that's important, right? This is what we really want to take care of. This is what we really want to protect. If you were to lose your laptop one day, what's going to happen? If I were to ask this question to the today's generation, would you be able to live without your mobile? And they'll be like, go crazy about it. Well, I had this talk with the UITM university people, and I did ask them this question. They are the journalists, right? And they say, no, I can't live without my mobile. All right, 100 over participants put up their hand and say, I can't wake up to see not my boyfriend, either any one of them beside my bed if it is not my mobile, right? But today, for us, for you, for me, for anyone that running a business, laptop, computer, our mobile data is so important. Remember, those who runs business for many, many years, before you even get your iPad to take notes and all that, what do we use? We use diary. What happens if you misplace your diary? Wow, terkejut gila, right? We will be jumping here and there looking back for our diary. Why? Because you have written so many information inside. What happens if you miss your diary? What happens if the diary goes to the wrong hand? All right, so that is the same thing we are talking here today, ladies and gentlemen. So corporate espionage and all that came, and how you're going to tackle it. I give you one more example. This is my real experience. What is dumpster diving, right? Dumpster diving, if I can walk to Nivas's office today and I'm going to bring my maid, well, I will actually have a casual talk to Nivas and I'll tell Nivas, I just dropped a trash here. Sorry, I'm going to get my girl to clean up. So I get my maid to just clean up immediately, and she will be probably walking to the next door to look for the dustbin to throw that trash, right? You thought so? She will actually go there, look for the dustbin to throw the trash. She will pack the bin, bring it with us. All I want to know is what and papers are being disposed in the bin. So I can use that information to corner Mr. Nivas later. So I've got an interest, isn't it? Well, that is how dumpster diving is happening in big offices. And bribery, hiring key employees, just paying them some amount of money and then give me information. These are the things that is happening. How do you want to control? Here you go. Some best practices of protecting your information from cybersecurity attack, not only from the technical attack. Again, you can have multiple layer of protecting, right? From the machine working, you need to have firewall, you need to have antivirus, you need to have anti-malware, you need to have multiple layer of security protection there. But what happens if those kind of espionage and extortion is happening in your company? Have you ever thought about it? Every time we talk about, I'm worried about hacker. Remember, 80% of the hackers are internal. Only 20% is external. And that 80%, what I'm talking to you now. Now, you're going to put a lot of controls there. And you need to monitor what are the information that are being downloaded by your employee. Anyone thought about it? What are the USB drive or whatever pen drive that they are bringing into your office? What if they just chucho at your server and just copy everything and go? Ensure that your employee always update their password. And then your employee use password regularly. Limit the access to sensitive data and undertake detailed audits of the reports of your electronic documents and all that. If you are having a document management system in your company, make sure it is also audited. And then implement a clean desk. Ensure employee access to corporate information to restricted job people only. Confidential, keep it. This is your property. Now, when that part, that corporate landscape is one part, the technical landscape is another part. Now, what about you in your organization? Do you think that your organization have the knowledge base to handle the cybercrime? from the hacking of putting it a ransomware attack or doing a DDoS attack, and what kind of attack? Do you have a knowledge-based people to handle this cybercrime? I told you, you can spend $1 million of money to buy all those equipment, devices, your hardware, your software to protect. But if your people are not ready, are not taught how to protect, and if they are taught how, they will always become a victim, right? I said the people is the target, and I tell you later why. And any of those agencies aware of the procedure and policy that must be in place to protect those information assets? And are you aware of those procedures that must be in place to protect? If it is already there, are you aware about it? If yes, if no, please let me know. I want to hear this from you. If you're a small business owner, please let me know. Yes, you have seen the information security policy, and I implement that. Even if you have 20 people in your company, please have that policy. Even if 3-4 people, does not matter. But your company can be 3-4 people, working company, you're probably making multi-million. You're probably making $millions of dollars, and that comes because of the information data, which is important to your business, right? You need to protect that. Have you thought of all those potential damage that can occur by using your nation's computing infrastructure? I mentioned about nation computing infrastructure. Most of our government infrastructure, it is called the Critical National Information Infrastructure, right? CNII. And they really, really need to be protected. And that is why they have national security policy. And that national security policy ties up all the cybersecurity with an international framework, ensuring that all organization complies to that, right? If you're already a business and you can actually make use of it. And is there a militant in the building? Well, we know there is always a security guard standing out there to protect physical protection. But what about any one of them sitting near to your computer with a herb guard and protect your data? No one will do that, or you're going to chain your computer. So having said all that, if you have all this, if you have firewall, antivirus, IDS, and you permanently scan, you monitor, and yet you already have a certain computer emergency response team. Any incident were to happen, they just know how to react. They just know how to respond. You already have all of them in place. You are providing security system assessment, continuous processes going on, and you have built a security culture in your organization. I tell you again, there is no system guarantees 100% security, right? So just continue to do that. Whatever you have, look into improvisation. And that improvisation, you need to make sure that the most important element in your security chain is you. It's me. It's the people, right? Human has already been determined as the most weakest link in security chain. And 43% employees, they make errors. And 47% of the employees, they became a victim of a scam, a phishing scam. 70% of the company, they name their people are the greatest vulnerability. I tell you what, this is a great discrimination to the employee. Please do not do that. I really don't like to say this out. Human is the weakest link. I always say we are not supposed to be classified as the weakest link on the security. We need to be educated. So take the chance, opportunity to educate yourself, to understand what do you protect, what are the information, what are the process, what are the records that you handle, and be a digital, I would rather say a responsible digital citizen. All of us are a digital citizen. So you got to be responsible of understanding your responsibilities as the digital citizen in the nation now, because you are connected, you are everywhere, you have all kind of information in your head, and there are already so many scams there. There are already fake news. One of the important role I want to share with you, you as a social media user, right? You see all kind of information that flooded in the WhatsApp, flooded in the Facebook, and also whatever social media platform. So what you do as a netizen, as a responsible citizen, digital citizen, do not share if you care, right? That's my famous phrase that I share with everybody. I'll tell everybody, you know it is fake because you don't know. You never clarify, you never verify, you never validate. So don't care to share. You don't know whether it's true or not. If anything were to do with government, let the government do the announcement. If anything were to do with any sort of industry, let the industry do the announcement. And if you want to make sure that whether this announcement is legitimate or not, go back to their website. Anything to do with vaccination, you got to look into WHO, you got to look into MOH. Anything to do with your industry approval and all that, go to the right source of the information. Right, so you got to be more responsible in doing that, isn't it? So this other information critical, and you understand what extent the COVID-19 pandemic had an impact on cybersecurity. I told you about scam. It is happening. I told you about fake news. It is happening. If you're working from home, I'm going to share with you some tips as well. How do you ensure that you safely work from home? For those companies who is actually getting your employee to work from home, you got to make sure that you provide the importance, I would say, with the security policy plus work from home policy, right? It has to go hand in hand together. Now, you cannot just bulk your employees, say, you got to work from home, right? 9 to 5, log in, log out, report, that's it. But you are not providing him or her the right security platform so that they make sure that whatever share file that they are sharing across over the internet, whatever access that they are having across over the internet to the files that, coming to your main server. So these are all need to be protected. Now, which psychological tactics used by cyber criminals are employees particularly vulnerable to? You need to understand. I did mention there's a lot of cyber crime, cyber threats, the type of cyber threats, right? If you want to really learn a lot, I would love to share with you, and I tell you where you can do that. Now, predominantly the cost seems to be personal related. If you look at my points here, all my 4 points is about people, right? About personal related, about technical stuff, lack of training for people to understand about cybersecurity.
Well, I think the speaker had some technical issues. Probably it's not a cybersecurity threat. Satya, Satish, can you check whether she has re-admitted herself in?
Okay, sir, checking. She is still in, sir. I guess her internet got a glitch, so just wait for her to come in.
Okay, while waiting for the speaker, I think we have a lot of enquiries over the Facebook, Facebook medium. There are a few questions there on cybersecurity, as well as if any participants here have some enquiries, questions, you can actually put in your chat box and we will address it towards the end of the program with the speaker. While waiting for the speaker, just recapping on all the important points that the speakers has been talking, especially on the cybersecurity threat and the crimes that is really endangering today. So I believe everyone is actually keeping tab on the risk of your IT infrastructure that you are actually connected to ensure that your network, as well as your hardware and also your data, is protected. Because the amount of information flow that the speaker, our Dr. Kavita Murthy, is sharing is really enormous, and it's really scary looking at what is possible that could happen in the internet surface today. Without a proper security layer of your IT infrastructure, you will not be able to be safe always. So please take note.
Including the one which they bring maid to your house and look at your trash.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, it's really scary out there.
Yeah. So probably the participants over here, maybe we can have an interactive session now. You want to share something so that we can bring it up to the speaker later as well, while we're waiting for the speaker. Satish, Satya, maybe you can give her a call and just check is everything okay?
Okay, sir, we are calling her.
Yeah. So, are the participants here mostly from IT or non-IT field that we have here today?
Yeah, one more thing that she was sharing, Nivas, that we should, in fact, remind all our participants here about the forwarding messages. Sometimes we fail to check whether is it real or fake, and we quickly forward them. And then more and more people out there find out that it is a scam, and then they come back to you. Yeah, so this is something that we need to check. And she mentioned
Especially
that.
during this COVID period, I think a lot of news that is not verified that has been
Yes.
creating panic among people, because
Yeah.
we tend to be concerned and worried, and we forward it as a health conscious news. But sometimes, without verifying the real facts of the news, we tend to forward and then create a kind of wrong information to the public. So try to avoid that. Try to verify your data. Try to verify the news that you receive before you auto forward. Well, I've also wrongly forwarded a lot of news that is not verified, and later I realized it's not verified. It's not true. So I'm going to erase if I have the.
In fact, today itself, I had one incident whereby, in Klang, there were about 800 or 500 vaccines were given free. Our KLCK business friend, somebody shared. And then when I called up and they said that, no, this is a scam and don't forward, stop forwarding, So imagine such things.
They're using the head of department's name, they are using their statements to forward and to say that this comes from so kind of person. So when we see those news, we think it is from a credible source.
Exactly.
When we forward that, I think we are actually smearing their image, and we can be also penalized in the law of anti-fake news.
Very true.
So Kuben, are you there? Kuben is from IT. Maybe Kuben, you can share. Something.
Hi, Nivas. Hi, I'm here.
Can I see a video, Kuben? Are you okay to share that?
Yeah.
Hi, Kuben. Yeah. So what do you think about whatever that our speaker have shared so far?
I think my camera is blurred. Let me just shift to another camera.
Satya, Satish, is everything okay with the speaker?
We're trying to reach, sir.
You called her?
We've been trying to reach, sir. We still calling her.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, Kuben, yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. And hi to all the KLCK members.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a very good full information given by Doctor. And whatever she's telling is really, really true. And in fact, part of my forte is on the security system as well. And and I do target most for corporate system for the moment compared to our house people, because mostly if you see like a lot of people are very ignorant on antivirus part. Okay, antivirus is something very known to be used, but people being very calculative. Sorry for my word. I said being very calculative. It's okay. I don't want to use the antivirus. I'm fine with it. I'm just using Microsoft Office, Word, and that's what. Not furthermore I'm doing. But if you notice, when you are connected to internet and you are not being protected, you're already exposed. Okay, and a very basic. Nowadays, all the antivirus comes with a firewall protection, basic level of firewall protection, and they comes with key logging protections, the phishing, the ransomware protections, all integrated. It's the new versions of antivirus. And my personal advice is, whoever home user, please don't hesitate to purchase the antivirus, because it's going to be per annum. And the varieties of antivirus, it costs about 80 bucks, 90, or some comes 70. It depends, yeah. But for corporate, it's different. They have a different level of antivirus, and some they have IDS system. IDS is the intrusion detection system. So whoever this hacker trying to penetrate the network, and of course there will be protection is there, and they will get a trigger. And the firewall system will be able to detect from which IP address. And of course, the hackers are quite smart. Not quite smart, it's very smart. They use VPN.
So, Kuben,
Thank you,
can I just ask a simplistic question? What should basically a user of a laptop or desktop, what kind of antivirus they should have? Something basic just to secure.
for home user.
Yeah, home or business user, anything.
Okay, for a basic, they can use a Bitdefender or they can use a Kaspersky.
So Bitdefender is something that is recommended, right?
I will strongly recommend because they are leading antivirus.
Okay, so Bitdefender and what it was?
Kaspersky.
Okay, that is
Kaspersky, yes.
Kaspersky,
And
something
yes.
mentioned him, right? Yeah.
No, I will send it in the chat box. I'll send it in the chat box.
Please put it in the chat
Because
box for
another thing,
all the participants here, yeah.
so every antivirus have their plus minus, their advantages there. But we need to know when we use the antivirus, it should not slow down our system. That is the problem.
Okay.
So we have to, yes, every antivirus have the advantage. The good advantage is that there's nothing to be blamed.
Kuben, thank you, Kuben. Thank you so much for your fruitful information. Dr. Kavi, are you there? Hi, Dr. Kavi, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, doctor, are you okay? Everything all right? There's no cyber security threat to you?
Nivas? Yes, I am.
Yeah, I think we are seeing something.
Hi, Nivas, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
can
can't
hear
see you,
doctor.
Dr. Kavi.
We can't see you.
Yes, looks like it. I just
The network.
our
The line is breaking, it's quite bad.
Doctor, I believe your network is not.
yeah, there was a power.
Hello.
Okay, can you ask the moderator, sorry, the admin to allow my video again?
Hi, Satish, can you actually
My
see?
video is on actually on my laptop.
No, her internet connection is bad. That is why she cannot on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. The internet connection is very
While,
bad.
while we are waiting for Dr. Kavi to join in back, maybe do we have any other personnel here, participants here from IT background? Probably can share your view so far, what you have actually gained, and maybe share some things with our participants here today. Anyone from IT background? So, Kuben, just would like to clarify further.
Mhm.
Any laptop or IT infrastructure without you hold on, Dr. Kavi is calling me.
Okay.
Hello, the doctor. Okay, Dr. Kavi is had a power trip earlier in a hotel, so she's trying to log in back again. Meanwhile, Kuben, I just would like to check if any IT device or infrastructure without with the basic security layer SSL. Will it be still tantamount for any threat, cyber security threat? How many
Definitely.
percent is exposed to cyber security threat?
Like what? Like Doctor have been explained just now.
I think Kuben, can we cut short and just continue later? Doctor is back here. Dr. Kavi.
Okay, sure, we'll do. Definitely.
Dr. Kavi, are you there?
Yes, Nivas, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank God.
Loud and clear, very
Power
cheerful.
trip, okay? Thank God for your power trip. We thought it was a security cyber threat to you.
I was taught almost. Who else want to do this to me? Anyway, okay, so again, I'm having this video problem, but never mind. Nivas, let's just move on, yeah?
Yes,
It's
yes,
okay,
please,
people,
yeah.
if you all can't see my face, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I just want to share my screen once again. I just want to go to where did I stop just now? Hang on, yeah? There was last 2 slides that I wish to continue. Just give me a second. So Nivas, I think I was sharing one of my last point here with regards to the human being the weakest link in security chain, right?
Correct, Doctor. Correct.
So here you go. Can you see my slide, Nivas?
Yes, it's clear. You carry on.
Very important one slide that I would like to share with you after talking so much, right, about information security and cybersecurity threat. So now we need to have a checklist, how I'm going to get myself balanced. You need to look into those best practices that you can actually apply to your day-to-day activity in ensuring that your data and yourself is well protected, as well as for organization, right? To also have this appropriate security measures is taken. Now, you need to have manage your security, manage your social media profile. Then you need to check on your privacy and security setting. If you are using your Facebook, let's say you're doing an e-business, you're selling some services online, right? And then you need to make sure that look at the privacy and security setting. If you are doing a business, then buy a business account. So the security mechanism is completely different, right? So you look into that kind of appropriate measurements of security by having a proper account. Now, you also need to avoid opening up those email that you're not sure, and do not continue your conversation with people who call and the spam calls. Those are Macau scam, people call it. So if you receive that kind of a call, you got to completely avoid them. Or if you're already a victim, then you need to immediately make a police report. Now, you also need to keep your software updated. For example, Microsoft will release a patch and you need to immediately take a patching action. So that is under governance. That's why I said you need to apply governance in your company and security policy. As part of the information security policy in the organization, patch management is one of the important practice. So look into the patch management. Then strong password. How do you actually create password? The best practice is usually you have letters, numbers, symbols, that kind of stuff. How frequently do you change your password? Every 3 months. Do not repeat your password everywhere. Now, I did mention, I've been dealing with Purni. I like the way Purni handle or rather coordination here. So Purni always talk to me, update me on the brochure and, ensuring I'm on time and stuff like that. Purni is a very soft-spoken person. I really like to talk to Purni. So one day I decided to have longer conversation with Purni to know that to know more about her. She's a sweet girl, isn't it? So anyone would like to get to know her. So I decided to have this conversation with her where I can trigger with the cleverness of that conversation, which we call the social engineering, right? And gather information about full name, whether single or married, what car does she drive, when is her birthday, what is her favorite pet, when was the last holiday, where was the first place she visited, and what is her SPM result, what's the mother's name. See, these are very key. Anyway, we are already so used to this kind of security questions, isn't it? You ask her. From that, we can manipulate those information, we can maneuver a little bit here and there and gauge her password. So it's not that difficult. That's the reason you got to manage your password. Strengthen your home network. You need to have security. I was hearing Kuben. I don't know you, Kuben. Hi, Kuben. You were talking about firewall, antivirus. You need to have that. Even your mobile, you must
Hi,
have
Doctor.
it.
Yes. Hi, Doctor. Hi. Even in fact, my mobile, I have antivirus in my office laptops, desktops, and everywhere. And I secure with VPN and with my ad blocks, with my routers will be secured as well. For
Kuben
current
is very
situation.
honest. Extremely honest. He actually shared everything that you need to protect yourself. Okay, great.
Yes.
Kuben, I hope that you can share your practices to our audience today. Yeah.
Definitely,
And then
definitely, I will.
Okay, great. And your backup is one of the important stuff, right? Now, there's a lot of online backup which is already made available, cloud backup and everything, not very expensive though. If you're a small business, do invest on all this. This is important, very critical element that you need to protect. Like I said, your data, your information, that's what that is the bottom line, right? You need to protect that. So, and another thing that I want to share with you, being pandemic situation, most of you probably working from home or working remotely, and that becoming a part of normal professional work nowadays, right? We don't have meetings. Well, I would love to attend a face-to-face event organized by KLCK, but here I'm sitting in another state, doing online, and a lot of trouble that we have to go through, a lot of glitches here, but this is no choice. It's becoming something like a new normal for us as well, for people to work remotely. Anyway, what is more important is to protect your network with the VPN from hackers, any kind of exploitation, any intrusion and stuff like that. And you need to protect a business network when accessed by remote devices. Like I'm remotely working and accessing my document in Kuala Lumpur. I'm using my smartphone, my laptop, my tablets and stuff like that. And here, I told you, right, I'm actually connected to the POTS connection. But they are very secure. But I never expect for a lightning to come and disrupt our section, right? Disaster again. So that you need to ensure that your wireless connection is secure. And you need to make sure you block all the spams. So much of advertisement can take you from one corner to another corner. Virus, malware, phishing, impersonation, and there's a lot of things. I would really love to talk to you all about social media security if time permits, but next time, and protect users from dangerous browsing websites. Certain websites, you tell them not to openly browse and stuff like that, because it will actually take you from one pool to another pool. So be very, very cautious, because do not leave any of your tracking where the perpetrator can follow the track and come and do anything disrupting to your company system. Prevent valuable data leaving the company. It is your greatest asset. It is you who touches the computer responsible for what you are, in protecting your cybersecurity, in protecting your data, right? Don't be a cyber victim, but have good practices of cybersecurity, right? So with that, and I'm really very sorry for the glitches that we had today, but let's move on. If you have any question and answer, I'm ready to take it out. I'll just stop sharing my slide if any question. Nivas, are you there?
Good evening, Dr. Kuben here.
Yes, Kuben.
Just to reconfirm, so this slide, are you going to share with our participant today?
Yes, I am.
Definitely. Thank you, Doctor.
I think we'll be sharing with all the participants later on these slides. Kuben, sorry to cut you short earlier, Kuben.
It's okay, no problem.
Sorry if I offended you. I just would like to clarify here that you were mentioning that I was asking you just now, the SSL that we actually impose in our devices or systems, what is the percentage of it protecting? And also what is the exposure risk that you would like to share this now?
See, in a mobile point of view, okay, when you have installed the appropriate antivirus, that will be automatically will be in the background. Things will be protected, and it will, you will be secured. You will be secured. That's for sure. Whichever website, whichever website is not authorized, you can't get through. It will automatically block and it will not allow you to proceed. That's one thing. But if a laptop, laptop base, if you're gonna go through, and of course there will be a warning notification be given. This site is not appropriate. It's not to visit. If you still do you want to take risk to visit, and you go ahead, because some website they don't have SSL. Some website don't have SSL, but because it's a cost matter actually. But the website could be genuine, but because of the SSL is not there, it not been authorized, and some antivirus will find it very fishy, miscellaneous site. They will block it. But if you see, it's nothing over there actually. But my advice is for mobile protection, is going to cost about almost like 30 or 40 bucks. It's just better to install that for annual protection. And for home use, the couple of antivirus is there. And please practice it to install and use it. Because for per annum, per month, you're going to charge it, you're going to pay for 8 ringgit or 9 ringgit, that's all. But you're going to pay in advance, annual payment. You see? And another small example, what I did, I feel very bored this pandemic. I didn't go out for almost a month. So I did a dirty job, sorry to say. So I tried to hack through my neighbor's wireless, and I see whether I can get through. Apparently 6 neighbors of mine, their network is not protected. And I did advise them. I say your network is not protected and everything. And I just give some other example. I didn't tell. I went through their network, and I managed to went through one of the neighbors' PC as well. But I just stopped. I didn't do the dirty job. I just closed it off.
Thank you, Kuben. Thank you for information. Dr. Kavita.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to. I was asking Kuben about protecting their laptops and desktops and IT infrastructure. But how about mobile phones? Do we have any layers of security layers? Is it built in the mobile phone or in the iOS or in the its operating system, or do we have to install a new application?
It is already built in, Nibas. If you look at iOS, Android, all those people, any of those smartphones, actually, all the security features are already built in. But if what we are talking, like Kuben has actually given a very good example of having an antivirus in your mobile, that is another layer of security that you need to have. And I would actually always advise, even if you go to Google Play, that already have a lot of antivirus and stuff like that, anti-malware, and if you were to download all that, it might slow down the usage of your mobile as well. You got to be careful with that as well. Do not overload with so many anti, then the mobile will become your own anti.
Yes,
I understand that.
yes, it's very
Actually, the information that Doctor you have shared today is really fruitful, and it's really scaring because you use few words like perpetrator. So it is really scaring because all of us have taken things for granted. We were not aware of this. We try to ignore the security features because probably it's costly, as mentioned by Kuben earlier. But I think this is going to be something compulsory and essential for your business to protect from data being leaked, your identity being smeared, and also your infrastructure, IT infrastructure being trashed. So because data is crucial here, after data is going to be the multi-billion-dollar business, right? So
Yeah.
I feel that each and every businesses from micro, small, and medium have to actually ensure that this is one costing that they should incorporate in their business development and expansion, right, Doctor?
Definitely. Nivas, you said it very well. Yes, Kuben put it a very good point, because people think cybersecurity, although we know it's essential, but it is also a costly investment. But if you look at on the other side of your business where you're going to lose your data is the greatest asset of your organization. And just do a comparison, just do an analysis, right? Cost benefit analysis. You got to do a CBA to look into the value of the data versus the investment of the security investment that you're going to put in your company. But I thought I had that that slide earlier. There was another slide that maybe I did not cover, but that is how much organization are spending is actually lesser compared to the losses that they are facing due to the hacking. right? That is the world trade actually.
I believe there must be a lot of awareness being done on this area of interest, Doctor. I think we should collaborate in more programs to create awareness, especially in social media security.
Yes.
There is a question here, Doctor, on social media security, where we had a question from Facebook during our live sharing. There's a question on individual measure. How do you measure your social account, whether it's secured or not? Is there any tools to run to test this application?
I believe that this question is being raised by one of the social media user. And my answer actually goes back to you, because you cannot run any tool to monitor that with Facebook. Facebook will sue you then. Who are you to run another tool to monitor? Again, if you were to agree on my statement, you definitely cannot do that. You can't do that to any of the social media platform. But how do you ensure that security mechanism is being applied? Number one, look into the security and privacy setup when you as a user, right? What do you want to show and what do not want to show? I also have a point here that I would like to emphasize. When you are one of the social media user, you need to have your own etiquette. Now, what is etiquette, Nivas, here? I would like to say this out very clearly. Etiquette means, what do you speak? How do you speak? What do you display? How do you display? When do you display? What not to display? I ask you this question. When I go for shopping, I spend 3,000 ringgit, you show your bill. When I go for dining, I spend 1,000 ringgit, you show your bill. When I'm flying from one country to another country, you show me a passport, you show me your code. You're showing me everything, man, come on. So what do you worry about security? What do you want to monitor? It's about you revealing lots of information which you are not supposed to. And that information is supposed to be classified. If you think you want privacy, then please keep the social media private enough. So we can't question the platform, but it is about the user's etiquette.
So the user's etiquette is very important in determining their data privacy. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, yes.
Because we have some data, some social media users, they update their lifestyle every hour, every minute. What are they doing? Where are they? Who are they with? And what kind of things they are using, So I think probably we wouldn't know what is their agenda, but then I think it is actually exposing themselves to perpetrators.
Definitely. Devas, I would just like to share another point here, because you did mention you are not sure what is their agenda. Now, for some of the extreme level of social media users who is exposing too much of their sexuality, who is exposing too much of their wants, who is exposing too much of their needs and all that, these are the people actually comes with a psychological problem. And they said it very clearly with the research that has been done recently. And it has been admitted by the people who get involved in the research. I think my interview was done 2 weeks ago in Minalapam. I said it very clearly, and you can see that with TikToks. You can see that in your WhatsApp, in your Reels and all that.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor, very much. Is there any questions that we can actually ask the speaker here today?
I see someone raised their hand. Fauzia. Hi, Fauzia.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Kavi. How are you?
Fine, dear. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you in chamber. Thank you so much for the briefing that you have given us on the security. I have this one thing which I've been pondering about this for a very long time. You see, the government have been doing lots of effort, and some corporate organization as well as some GLCs have been doing a lot of awareness in the social security based information, so that we are protected, like how you are sharing information with us. Okay, but we do have a group, especially the women of B40, for example. They are the group of people directly being affected due to the especially the social engineering portfolio area. The hackers have been trying to get hold of them, the theft have been trying to get hold of them, because they don't simply understand the technicality of this security, the cyber security. Correct me if I'm wrong. And how can we as a government or organization can easily go down to them and make them understand this technicality in a very simple way?
Fauzia, I love your question, Fauzia. Yes. Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute, Fauzia. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Well, while waiting for the speaker, let's launch the poll to get the feedback from our participants here. Just take your time, just 2 seconds to just click. What is your feedback on the speaker and the program today? Was it informative, very informative, moderately informative, lack of information, or not informative? So we just would like to gauge your feedback so that we can actually improve our program and we can give you further information in the upcoming programs. So,
Okay, thanks, Nivas. Fauzia, I love your question. Let me just quickly tell you what would be the answer. The answer is, I give you a very simple analogy. Now, if I'm the hacker and I've got this Fauzia, you mentioned that she's B40, right? Now, what is my objective of getting to you, Fauzia? Am I in love with you? Do I want to grab your money away? Do I want to write off your property or anything? Am I having this jealousy on you? There must be some agenda, right? Like what Nivas said, what's the agenda?
Agree.
Right?
Yes.
So, but if I have anything to do, if I want to make money from you, then through the social media, probably I want to sell your picture. I make some money. Because if I want to have something with you, the agenda must be really, the purpose must be strong enough, right? Money matters, image matters, or something has to be there. But will it take too much for me to come to you, to reach you? Do I need to hack into your system? What system you have? What phone you're using? iPhone?
I'm using a simple Huawei.
Very difficult for me to trust you, to trace you, to track you. You are everywhere in social media. So I don't have to really put so much of technical effort to go and take you out, man. It's so easy, right? With the information that I have, where is Fauzia? For social media,
Yeah.
Facebook is good enough already. Right? So I don't need to educate you technically, but I teach you how do you take care of your life, of your personality when you are on the social media, so that you don't let the perpetrator to come and take, advantage of you, or probably sexual harassment. All right. How many of you are actually watching your kids having in the chat room? How many of you that knows your kids is chatting to whom when the girl or the boy in the chat room? Do you know that this called cyber grooming actively happening when the perpetrator, you don't know who is watching your cyber front, and this guy watching your kids entering into the cyber chat. And I pretend to be a nice man, talking to your kid, talking to your son, talking to your daughter, become a good friend, spend all the time and sexually harass her on the internet. I can rape without even having my presence there.
Oh,
Right?
this
So-
is very dangerous. Scary.
Do I have to teach anything technical for the kid? No need. I only need to teach the kid, baby, when you go to a chat room, these are the people you must ignore. These are the people you must not entertain. These are the place you should not go. These are the browsing that you should not ever enter. This is what you need to educate them. The safety for the B40 women social media users. Their weakness is because of their own person. They are their own self. Nothing else. Nothing to do with technical here.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kavi.
Welcome, Fauzia.
Thank you, Dr. Kavi, for your really wonderful information. And it's really scary after going through this program today. I think everybody have to do a self-reflection, reflect upon yourself, whether you, your family, your business, and your circle is in the safe domain. I think we need to do some RA or risk assessment. We need to identify the risk, we have to mitigate the risk, and then we have to propose a recommended solution for yourselves, your business, and your family. So if your children are, like what Dr. pointed out just now, I think those who have teenage kids who are always in their phones, you got to watch them now onwards. I think things are getting worse, and the rape happens electronically, Doctor, as you mentioned just now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's scarier than ever. So it is a mental torture to the parents, the children, and it cascades into different kinds of social problems later part, and it actually affects the whole family and the ecosystem.
Yes,
Well-
yes, that's correct. Absolutely correct.
So, Doctor, I think you have given a very good information in this past 1.5 hours, despite multiple potential cyber threat that we.
Unfortunately, today,
I think I
it's
would
a
like
good
to.
experience for me.
We had the.
Dr. Kavi, it's an evidence shown to all of us.
Yes.
I think what happened earlier in this program today with the and what he called the scratch by some anonymous person, and he just left the chat room. I wouldn't know that was intentional or unintentional, and then probably the power trip was unscheduled power trip. So I think we can disregard that. Nevertheless, Doctor, I think you have given a good overview of what is cyber security all about. How should a person should actually protect themselves, their data, their IT infrastructure, their mobile phones, their privacy. If there is no questions, probably we can actually. We are already towards the end of the session today.
Okay, Nivas, just one thing before we end the session. We do have
questions, ladies and gentlemen. If there is, I think the session. Yeah, Doctor. Hi, Doctor.
Right.
Are you there?
Yes. Nivas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I will share this program called Secure Computer User. You will learn about mobile security, social media security, email communication security, system setup. If you are using a laptop, how do you do your personal setup securely? How do you install antivirus, firewall, and stuff like that? How do you learn, what are the things that you need to learn about wireless security? So very simple program. It is not very expensive. I've got a very special offer for KLCK member, and I'll share you the information later.
Probably, Doctor, if there is any inquiries more about your session today, we will route the participants to yourself. Probably they can take it offline to discuss or get a consultancy services from your company to engage them on cyber security measures. Yes, Doctor? Would you be able to support that? Of course, that is KLCK was just the intermediary to connect you with them. And we hope that they will get the best services to protect their business and themselves.
Sure.
Is there a question? I think someone has raised hand. Is this Mr. Yuga? Any questions, sir?
Yes, Mr. Nivas. Thank you to Dr. Kavi. There's a lot of information. Just to ask about this, while you're talking now, she says, do not open email, just simply open, which is you don't know. But email, of course, if you open, so how to the necessary step you have to consider and how to go about it? Can you telling a little bit about it?
Yes, sir. Okay, there's two things about it. If you're receiving an email and you're doubtful about the email, definitely you don't open. But secondly, you receive an email, you have no doubt, but you have opened it and you realize you are trapped, correct? So when you are trapped, what you're supposed to do, you try to exit yourself as soon as possible. But if you know that you have, actually, for example, you receive an email from a XYZ bank, and the bank actually asking you to click on the link to update your data. So you think that this is a legitimate email, you already click, and then you already have an open page, and you start keying in your information, you already send the file out. You cannot do anything. So that is the most dangerous part. What immediately you can do, make a police report, and you immediately report to the bank. Hey, I received this, right? I just got to know that it's a scam. So can you please make sure that my bank account doesn't have any transaction or anything happening, illegally at the back. So please inform me on those actions. So what we want to tell our people, sediakan payung sebelum hujan. So please do not click on it. I teach you, Mr. Yuga, if you are interested. I can't show you that much here. My network also is dropping because of the rain here. What I can teach you is how do you recognize whether that email, that website is legitimate or not, whether it is a secured one. There is a padlock, there is stuff like that. Just now Kuben was trying to explain also, I guess. So that's a very beautiful thing that you need to learn, very important, very essential. So let's prevent ourselves from becoming a victim.
I hope it answers your clarification, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you, Mr. Yuka. Thank you so
Well,
much.
ladies and gentlemen, you may also follow through all KLCK programs in our Facebook here. It is facebook.com/klck.chamber. And all our informations will be shared there, also in our Insta and also LinkedIn profile. So we have regular programs to actually facilitate the MSMEs on your business sustainability. And also we share a lot of government's stimulus aid packages, especially on the recent Pemule package. So if you have further information, you can contact the Secretariat. We will be delighted to actually assist you. If there is no further questions, I think we would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Dr. Kavita Murthy, who has spent her time here with us despite her hectic business schedule. We really thank Doctor for your valuable support.
My pleasure, Nivas. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you all participants. We will see you again in next KLCK program.